Dairy farming in Kenya has been in practice for years, yet to date, it is still a farming activity presumed to be for the elderly. Changes in dairy farming technologies and uptake of agriculture in Kenya has led to a drastic change whereby young farmers have taken up the role of practicing dairy farming for commercial purposes. Dairy farming has recently improved as more farmers realize the importance of looking for better ways to improve their skills and yields. These efforts have in turn propelled the dairy industry to new heights. As part of Kenya Vision 2030, dairy farmers have gone out of their way and embarked on self-starter initiatives to learn better ways of improving their production. Nandi County, known for its thriving tea estates, is also becoming a region for dairy farmers. Brian Kosgei, a young farmer who succeeded dairy farming from his father, says he was introduced to dairy farming activities when he was a young child, and his passion grew to where he now runs his own dairy farm and sells his milk far and wide.
Dairy farming has been a family thing. It has been passed down from generation to generation. My grandfather was the brainchild of this dairy idea, which was passed down to my father and been passed down to me. Yeah. So I can say this is about 30 years. 30 years of been doing dairy for the last 30 years. When I finished school, I started looking for a job, but I later on decided to do this dairy farming because it is something that I had passion for. Yeah, because I like cows, and the cows can also be can create wealth. Yes, we have about 10 to 15 cows on milk, about 10 heifers, about another 8 to 10 cows, and we only deal with Friesian.
As there are many different types of dairy cow breeds, Brian has been breeding the Friesian cow. He prefers the pure Friesian breed rather than a mixture on his farm.
Well, Friesian is a good milk producer, and then it is also easy to maintain.
For high and quality milk production, a farmer should ensure that they keep their cow healthy. As for Brian, what does he do to ensure that his herd is healthy and well managed?
If you take the cow as like one of your child, you take care of your child. So the cows just need to eat well, they need to get the correct minerals, they need to be treated when they are sick, they need to be sprayed when they are infested. Yeah, so just proper care.
Feeding entails using forages, fodder, concentrates, and preserved feed sources. The choice of feeding depends upon your decision and availability of feeding materials. A well-planned feeding strategy will ensure you have plenty of quality feeds for your incoming animals and moderate you from feed-related risks and threats that come by. Brian has a feeding regime which has helped his cows gain weight and have good milk production rate.
We feed our cows with occasionally dry matter, the boma rods, the concentrates, and sometimes silage. We feed them twice in a day, after milking and in the morning we feed it, and then after milking in the afternoon we also feed it.
Fresian cows have a potential yield of milk production between 40 and 50 liters per day, though the milk production is determinant on how a farmer feeds and manages their dairy cow. At Brian's dairy farm, he milks only 10 cows because some of his cows are on dry cow management. The 10 milking cows produce between 10 and 15 liters per cow per day on average.
We have about 10 to 15 cows on milk, about 10 heifers, about another 8 to 10 cows. And we only deal with Fresian. Yeah.
Commercial dairy farming is the practice of breeding and keeping cows with the intent of selling the produce, which is milk. Commercial dairy farming has helped farmers invest in dairy production, thus encouraging employment in dairy farms. Brian does commercial dairy farming. He milks his cows, boils the milk, packages and sells it to the customers who are in distant locations.
Well, it is commercial because once we have milked these cows, we process it, we can boil it, preserve it, then sell it to other consumers.
As a young dairy farmer, how does Brian take up the initiative in commercial dairy farming?
Dairy farming is something very interesting because it has its own dynamics. But I take up the challenge because I said dairy farming is as good as any other job in the market. Well, this is just an open plan kind of structure whereby the cows feed, then they go and sleep anywhere around because it's an open field. And then when it rains, they can come and shelter inside here.
We are taking a short commercial break, but we will be right back with more.